Hi everyone, Crypto Carlos Fandango here again, back with another video. Sorry it's been so long since my last video. I've been suffering a little bit with some health conditions, but I'm back now, back on form, and I intend to pick things up again. There's a lot to talk about, a lot's been going on. My rig here still mining KASPA, but the network hash rate's gone up terrible, so the yield is absolutely awful at the moment. I have had some sort of indications that I could even get more efficiency and hash rate out of the RX 580s that are in this rig. So I'm going to be looking at those and hopefully reporting back on that. But there's also a lot of talk about a lot of new coins coming out. Majority of the channels seem to be pushing the hype around these coins and giving you details of how to mine them. So need to have a look at that and see if there's anything worthwhile pursuing there, especially if KASPA's going to get even worse. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about a CHIA update, specifically what I've been doing in my data cabinet, but prior to not being able to make any videos. So let's have a look at that. So as you can see, I've only got 2 active ReadyNAS 2100 units going in the data cabinet now. And that's because there's been a lot of reconfiguration, a lot of changing to a JBOD setup, which you probably saw in my previous video. And that's allowed me to turn 2 units off and save some at-the-wall wattage, which has been brilliant because it's helped the spreadsheet a little bit, and we'll go through that and see exactly how much it is costing me to run this rig now. So let's go and have a look at that.
Okay, first off, apologies for the audio. It is going to be horrendous to listen to this. You can hear the noise from the data cabinet in the background. Sorry, I'm just recording in the same room and I'm having great difficulty with microphones at the moment and noise cancellation, so I hope you can hear me clearly enough to see what's going on. But first off, I'm just going to go over very quickly a few slides that I've shown you previously about where I was with the data cabinet in its very inefficient state. As you may remember, was running under RAID 5, and this is how we had the NAS populated. Full complement of 6 terabytes apart from the last drive on the top one, which was 3 terabyte. Full complement of 8. 3 drives filled with 2 terabyte and 1 empty. And then the bottom one, all 3 terabytes. And that was giving us a very small amount of RAID disk space. We weren't, I wasn't making best use of what I could with these drives, and that's why I started looking at re-implementing it with JBOD configuration. Small amount of USB 3 drives I had, just complementing a little bit. And this is what we were looking at with regards plot counts and plot size and daily rewards. And then after that we moved to filling in that last drive and changing the 2 terabyte drives out for 3 terabyte drives. So I sold the 2 terabytes on eBay and got rid of those, so that was brilliant. Gave us a little bit more disk space, not much, but yeah, as I said, we started then implementing JBOD across the drives instead, and the plan was to get to this sort of stage where we'd have full 6 and 8 terabyte at the top, and then the 2-3 terabyte NAS units at the bottom eventually converted to 6 terabytes. Now, as you saw obviously in the thumbnail of this video, I have taken all the 3 terabyte drives out of those bottom 2 units. They're now for sale on eBay. I've packaged them and tested them. They're all in anti-static bags. They've all been checked for reallocated sectors and they're all clean, so I'm confident they're going to sell, and that's going to allow me to then start investing in, I think it's probably going to be 6 terabyte drives. The 8 terabytes are still a little bit steep. I did think about maybe getting 10 terabyte drive, trying it in the NAS under JBOD to see if it would support it, which would be brilliant if it did, but then I could always then utilize that as a USB drive if it didn't. So may do that, don't know yet. But anyway, this is where I wanted to get to, as a starting point, and obviously as with JBOD configuration, a lot more disk space there at my disposal, 104 terabytes. So, getting to this stage, it would be a healthy plot count and plot size, and a fairly decent daily reward. So where have I got to at the moment? Well, we are here, and as you can see, NAS 3 and NAS 4 are empty and off at the moment. So saving the power from those. There's no need for them to be running while they've got no drives in. So that's helping with efficiency, and I'll show you that in a minute. So at the moment, all I've got is just 2 NAS units running, the 6 and the 8 terabyte one. The RAID's gone. We're now in JBOD configuration on each individual drive as well. That is, it's not the data's not striped across the drives at all. Reason for that: at worst, if I lose one drive, I've lost 6 terabytes of data, and that's going to be quick to rebuild. I didn't want to lose data across all the drives if one went, which you would get with striping the data. So the JBOD configuration is on each individual drive, which I think is better. So on 4 6 terabyte drives we get 21.8 available, and on the 4 8s we get 29 terabyte available. This column now is not a RAID 5 column, it's a populated column, so it shows you how much of the disk space I've utilised so far across those drives. And you can see it's not the max, and there's a reason for that, and I'll show that in the last slide. So empty there. That currently gives us about 50.8 terabytes of space, with what I've got populated on it so far. And with my USB drives that I've got, one 10 terabyte populated to that, a 2 terabyte populated to that, and a 12 terabyte that's currently populated to that, and one spare. You get a little bit of extra disk space, and what I'm getting at the moment is a plot size of 60969. I've got 616 plots, and my daily reward is 0.020836 XCH. So not bad. But what's more important is the efficiency. So let's go on to the next slide to have a look and see what it was looking like previously, which was quite horrendously. I think this slide was from a couple of months back. The price was around £30.79. Daily reward was 0.014 and a bit. Electric price pretty constant, hasn't changed at all, but after electricity I was still losing just over £2.14 a day. Now with this new configuration at the moment, electric prices haven't changed. The daily yield has gone up to 0.020. The price is, yes, taken a little bump up to £32.88. We did see a nicer rise. I think it went up to about 38 a couple of weeks back, but it has sort of come back down and settled around this area. Seems to be pretty static at the moment. But you can see the effect that has had on there, with a reduction in electricity usage from 300 watts to 160. 69 pence I'm losing a day, which is comfortable for me. I'm not worried about that at all, because I know that figure is now going to go down even further, with the more plots and bigger daily yield that I get. So looking a lot more healthier. It's definitely been a worthwhile exercise. The only thing I would say is I'm a bit concerned about the possibility of winning blocks now. You may remember I think it was back on Valentine's Day, funny enough, I won my first block, and that was with about 4 months, it said, still to go before I could win a block. It was very early on. I didn't have a lot of plots at all. I didn't have a lot of space plotted to, so it was very surprising, but I won the block nonetheless, and that was with the data cabinet running in RAID 5 configuration. My thoughts now, and they're based on having a look at the plots pass filter and plots found in the CHIA software. I'm not seeing the figures come up as much as I used to. So my concern is running under JBOD now. There is a performance degradation that is sort of possibly going to go against my chances of winning another block very soon. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm going to monitor things and see what happens, and I will let you know if I spot anything. But I have a funny feeling that the RAID 5 configuration was performing that well that you had a better chance of getting a block, and may have reduced my chances now, but we'll see. So much healthier situation. So all there is to look at now is I'm just going to show you a slide of the drives actually in Windows now. So these 8 drives down here are all the ones in the top 2 NAS units. So you can see these are the 8TB drives. Here are the 6TB drives, and you can see that I've just plotted up to the end of where they're blue. This screenshot actually was taken a few days ago, and this one here is now in line with all of these. So where they popped into the red, I dropped one plot off, moved it somewhere else to bring it back into the blue, and that was just purely because I wanted to make sure I had peak performance on these drives. I didn't want to overpopulate them. Windows obviously gives you that message when it changes the bar from blue to red, sort of suggesting you're either getting to the end of the drive space, or you could be degrading performance, filling it up. There's full. And as I said, ReadyNAS 2100 software sends you alerts as well, saying, you know, if you've got 30% left, you should think about stopping now, because you will degrade performance. So I've decided to keep it with a little bit of space on, about 10% I think on these free, just to try and keep the performance levels on them, and I will do the same with my USB 3 drives as well. But anyway, that's the state of play now. Once again, sorry it's taken so long to get a video out. I have had a few issues here and there, but I'm back now, and I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope it's given you some thoughts for your CHIA mining farms. So please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and as always, please subscribe and hit the bell notification icon if you'd like to know when I put up my next content. But for now, I'll say goodbye, and I'll see you next time.